So back to Hobsbawm, all right?
Yeah. Let's do Hobsbawm before we go to the post game. What were you going to say about Hobsbawm?
Okay. So the thing about when Hobsbawm was here, we had lunch in London. We already knew each other. He came. It was really great. But we spent this afternoon. Well, we spent a day out in Door County. You know Door County, having grown up on the other side of the lake in Michigan, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thumb of Wisconsin that heads north. And we were out for the day. I took him to lunch. We did this long walk in the woods, and we got into this discussion. I worked up the courage to say, Eric, why did you not leave the Communist Party when everyone of your closest comrades did in the wake of the Soviet invasion of Hungary and the revelations of Stalin? And he went, and later, eventually, he does write about this in a memoir, his book, his autobiography. But it really was that he began by telling me what it was like to be on the streets in Germany, where he was living at the time, and being attacked as a leftist and a Jew by Nazis. And the solidarities that one had amongst young radicals. Later, the solidarities that existed in the party. I mean, there's this sense of loyalty that he had to a tradition that just he could not separate himself from that sense of loyalty. And I remember afterward we went for I guess it was a long morning walk, and then we went for lunch, a late lunch up there. And I said to him, Eric, I have to tell you, I wish I could have recorded what you were saying because, and I said, not for the sake of the CIA or anything like that, but because I would like to go back and think about what you said. And he said, I wish we had recorded it too, because it would help me if I ever do decide to write a memoir. And I can tell you that I disagreed with him, utterly disagreed with him on that question, because I was much closer to Thompson on that question.
Mm-hmm.
But I will also tell you, when I asked Dorothy Thompson, Edward's wife, who was also a historian, why they didn't leave the party in 1940 when Hitler-Stalin Pact was signed, she answered in similar kinds of ways about loyalty to the party, et cetera, et cetera. So Eric, in his own way, was just merely sort of the later rendition of what they had said. But the Thompsons and others had really just were ready to go, and they left the party, and they remained socialists, okay, and in many ways Marxists, especially when you read their work of the 60s and beyond. But they would no longer have anything to do specifically with the Communist Party. So.
Yeah, and I think also, I mean, we actually watched on this channel with Cuba Warinsky. I watched. We do these Thursday night debate breakdowns. We watched this Oxford Union debate between Thompson and Caspar Weinberger, which is like a weird thing that existed.
Oh, yeah, wow.
And yeah, exactly. So and Thompson, is obviously, this is like the 80s. Thompson is long past his CP involvement, but he's still not only is he still a leftist, I mean he's still very firmly opposed to sort of Cold War hawkery, and and it's a good it's a good debate on his end, but yeah, I think that there's an interesting question, and maybe this is where we'll pick things up in the post game. There are also a few other strands of what you said I want to kind of pick back up on, about how look, you and I agree that the I think about a sort of baseline democratic socialist critique of capital C communism, but that there's I think that maybe there's something about that they sort of had to come from some tradition like that in order to do what they were doing. That they, in other words, that it's like if they were just creatures of academia, there wasn't this external movement that that could command that kind of internal camaraderie and all of that stuff that they were part of, then they might not have been able to do what they were doing in their historical research. So I want to hear your thoughts about that when we pick back up. So
that is a good question, because I will tell you, and anyone who's not a patron, become one. Okay, that is a good question because of what happened to George Rude, who had not gotten into academe before the Cold War set in. Okay.
You have been watching free public content from Give Them an Argument. To access every single episode of the show, the main show on Monday nights, all of the streams, all of the debate breakdowns, all of the patron-exclusive post-games on Monday nights, all of the patron-exclusive bonus episodes every week, and much, much more, go to patreon.com/Ben Burgis. I cannot resist ending this with, don't be foolish.